Welcome, everybody. Welcome to It's a Rep Sports, the Wraparound. That's right. I am your host, Mike Laura, filling in for Pat Bernard. Whoo, boy, do we got a lot to talk about. Phil's get a big win in Miami tonight. Christopher Sanchez doing the dirty work for the Phils on the hill. Eagles, comfortable, not a not comfortable win for game one against the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of stuff they got to clean up. Penn State, they get on the schneid. They get back on the schneid tomorrow with a early afternoon tilt with FIU. Some big college matchups. I'm going to give you my 3 college picks for tomorrow. Again, I joined Paul Spencer on College Football Frenzy earlier tonight. We were talking over some big games from last week and this week, of course, going forward. Let's get into it. We're going to talk a little Eagles first. You guys were just on with Al, and you guys pretty much probably had your Phillies fill for the last half hour or so. So we're going to jump into the birds and my reaction. And my reaction is this. I don't know what type of team this Philadelphia Eagles team is. And it's kind of hard to say. I love the fact that they were able to, kind of use Goddard a little bit more last night. He was kind of their main target. But I don't know, man. They worry me a little bit, man. I mean, how bad is A.J. Brown hurt? Because there's no way on God's green earth you're only throwing that man the ball one time. Devontae Smith, you threw it to him 3 times. So your 2 star wideouts, you throw the ball to them a total of 4 times. You had Diggs, who was coming off a leg injury. Never tested him. Never tested Deron Bland. They did go after Jason Elam with Jahan Dotson. Where's the 4 wide receiver set with John Minchie? There's no creativity with this offense. And I'm not even going to get into the big bear in the room, which was Jalen Carter. Stupid. Just straight stupid move. I'm not saying Jalen's stupid. I'm just saying what he did, his actions were stupid. He could have just turned and walked back. Even if Dak spat at him going towards the floor, whatever. He could have just turned his back, walked away, and made him, eat grass all night. But I got to give the Cowboys a little bit of credit. I have to give the Cowboys not a little bit. I got to give them credit. They stuck with the run game. They used Javonte Williams really well last night. And, again, Nolan Smith, you got to play smarter. Really, you're going to get a taunting penalty? Which, by the way, if you were watching the game last night, that play he got nailed for the taunting penalty, Ajomo was tackled. I'm sorry, I felt like the Cowboys' offensive line got away with a lot of holding last night. A lot of holding. I think the Eagles got away with a lot of holding, too. Mailata didn't have a good game last night. He didn't. He was holding a lot, too. For the Eagles, but there was a lot of just a lot of bad calls that went the Eagles' way last night. Most of them were self-inflicted. Most of them were deserving. The Reed Blankenship one, absolutely not. Absolutely not. If you're a Dallas fan, you're going to say, yeah, he got hit. He got, the receiver got hit in the head. Too bad. The receiver was going to the ground. All the guy did was lower his shoulder. He's got a right to do that. That was the most horrible call, I think, in that game. It was so outrageously called. I understand you're trying to protect player safety, but Jesus, God, man, you got to let them play football too. Again, last night, it felt like everything with the Eagles was ticky-tacky, and with Dallas, was it the Tyler Guyton got away with punching one of the Eagles' edge rushers in the face. Literally just turned and punched him in the face, which I don't know if that's going to be seen or anything else, but Jesus, God. To me, last night it was very hard game to watch. I know Al was down there, so again, and then uh, you know, the one thing I will say that kind of benefited the Eagles last night was that stoppage, which was the hour and some change delay for the Lightning. I think that gave the Eagles a chance to go in, see what they were doing wrong on defense, and make adjustments. And the Cowboys did too. The Cowboys came out. I got to give the Cowboys defense, credit. They played very well last night. The one area where the Eagles were able to exploit them was in the middle. Dallas Goedert had a field day last night. But the fact that the Eagles didn't try to push the ball downfield, it was kind of like they played a safe game with Jalen Hurts. Which, by the way, too, after last night, Cowboy fans, you cannot look at Jalen Hurts and say he's not a good quarterback because he basically went yard for yard with your quarterback. I think Dak finished up with a couple yards, like literally like 3 or 4 yards more than Jalen. That's it. Jalen had a better completion percentage last night. He did more with his legs. To me, there is no more Cowboys fans saying, oh, well, Hurts is just a game manager. Because if you're saying he's a game manager, well, again, guess what? You're talking about your own quarterback. Because last night, he was right there. He was step for step with Dak Prescott last night. And Dak had a good game. Dak had a really good game. CeeDee Lamb let him down. And if CeeDee Lamb catches that ball, I don't know if they would have got in the end zone. Like, a lot of people were like, oh, well, if he catches those balls. Well, there was a lot of ifs last night. If Quinyon Mitchell holds on to an interception in his hands, we're not talking about, it's over. Dak will end up, getting credited with a bad interception. The other one that Reed Blankenship ran by. Okay. There was another one that got put up in the air from Adoree Jackson when he came in and put his hand in front of it and deflected the ball. And I think Adoree Jackson took a little bit of a beating. I can understand, early on, Adoree didn't look really good. But he got better as the game went along. And I don't go too high on opening day wins. I don't go too lows on opening day losses because you got to really kind of take into the consideration this is their first gameplay. And I think they were really, really explaining that last night where they were saying, them guys are probably dead. And, I think Collinsworth, for a change, actually brought up something that was kind of unique. He's like, he goes, these guys are sucking air right about now. They haven't been playing this long. And they haven't. And that's, while we're talking about playing and playing long, let's give a lot of love to Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis and Ajomo last night played a lot more than they normally had to play. Now, what I will take into consideration is why wasn't Ty Robinson dressed for that game? Why wasn't Ojulari dressed for that game? You needed to get pressure. And I'm sorry, I like Jalix Hunt, but without a bona fide pass rusher on the other side of Nolan Smith, that line's not going to be able to do what it did a year ago. I like Jalix Hunt, but Jalix Hunt was getting thrown around last night. Now, Josh Uche, on the other hand, Josh Uche came in that game and started throwing Tyler Guyton around. Started using his speed, getting around him. He was putting pressure on Dak Prescott. I liked what I saw from Josh Uche last night. I think Ojulari should be given a chance to come play this weekend. The other guy, Ojibwe, or whatever his name is, give him his walking papers. I would give him his walking papers. He was really non-existent on the field last night from that defensive end. But I will say this. Big Jordan Davis, that 36 pounds that he dropped coming into this year, you could see it. He was definitely doing what he had to do. So let me get to some of your questions right there. Adam C's checking in, says, Happy Friday, let's go Birds. There you go. Ricky checking in, saying, Go Eagles. Adam, Dak should have gotten kicked out too. Oh, it's always the second guy, Adam. The second guy always gets caught. That's why they tell you don't retaliate. Big Al, who was at the game, was just on a little bit ago. That's an old picture, Al. You need to update that picture. You do not look like that anymore, bud. He's probably not going to like me saying that, but I don't care. He said the O-line was slow. It's going to take time for them to get to game speed. Cowboys had to bring the house. They were. They were bringing the house. But I'll tell you what. The thing that got me yesterday was their poise. The Eagles' poise. Jalen Hurts in particular. If its and buts were candies and nuts, every day would be Christmas. You say so, buddy. What time is live tomorrow? Ricky, the only thing that I know of we have going tomorrow is the Fighting's Final and the Happy Valley Huddle. They're the only two for tomorrow. Matty B will not be back until Sunday night. So I will give you guys the rundown. Matter of fact, let's do the rundown right now, Ricky, so you know. Here it is right there. Florida Marlins. Oh, I'm on tomorrow. Okay. Damn, I forgot I was on tomorrow. Okay. So, yeah, I got the fish. I got the Fighting Final after the Happy Valley Huddle. And then, Maddie, will have you on Saturday or Sunday. So, make sure you check that out. Of course, Sunday, you will get Maddie B and those, the final word. So, make sure you check in to Maddie B on Sunday night. Sunday morning, it'll be me and Al. Early in the morning. That's right. So make sure you get up, get your coffee, say your prayers, go to church, and then come with us as we get you ready for NFL foosball. That's right. Week 1 of the NFL will continue on Sunday. I'll be talking about some of the games I'm going to be looking forward to watching. So, and I got my 3 picks going for Sunday's game as well. So make sure you guys tune into that. Again, tomorrow, Happy Valley Huddle. So, and then as we move along the week here, back to its normal time at 9 p.m. on Thursdays. That's right, the Attacking Third with Steve Fuentes. And hopefully soon, Pat Bernard will get off that milk carton and join us over here. But I know it's getting close for Pat to be joining us. I'm pretty sure he's probably going nuts not being able to do that. Also, guys, Steel City Sunday. That's right, you Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Pre- and post-game show for the Steelers. So make sure you guys tune in to that. That's a new one as well. Birds Blast with Kyle Quinn has been moved. It was on Tuesday of this week. It'll be Thursday at 7. So make sure you guys tune in for that as Maddie and Kyle will go back and forth. Of course, myself and with Paul Spencer. Paul Spencer will be joining me now for Props, Locks, and Parlays coming to It's a Wrap Sports Network on every Wednesday on 7 o'clock. So we will have you covered on our props, our locks, and the parlays that we will be doing. So, again, and that is for entertainment purposes only, so make sure you guys tune in for that. The Wraparound. Hopefully, one of these weeks, Pat will be back. I promise. He will be, because I will be getting ready to hand these reins over to him. So, he will be back. And, of course, next Sunday around 7:30 after the 4:25 start, the Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. And speaking of those Chiefs, they just pulled within 2 of the LA Chargers right now. It is 20-18 with about 9 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter down in São Paulo, Brazil. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Big news out of that game tonight. We both know, everybody knows Rashid Rice is suspended for the first, I believe, 6 games of the season. So they already don't have him. Well, young starred wideout Xavier Worthy got hurt in this game with his shoulder. He had to be taken out, and there's no more Sky Moore there. Sky Moore has been traded to the 49ers. So really right now, man, if you're taking a look at it, Kansas City's kind of running really, really thin on the wide receivers right now, as their top 2 wide receivers look like they're probably going to be out this Eagles game. That Worthy injury looked really, really severe. So I'm hoping he plays, but if he doesn't, yeah, it doesn't look good. So Al saying double Mikey time tomorrow. Yeah, I forgot I was even doing it. I usually have it written down in my phone. Maybe it is, and I just didn't pay attention. But yeah, I will be on. So yeah, just as the Phillies game will be coming on, should be getting ready to do that. I think the Phillies are on early tomorrow, or are they on at night? Let me take a look here. Uh, let me go down here and take a look for tomorrow. Yeah, Phillies are a 4:10 game. So basically, once I'm done doing the Happy Valley Huddle, I'll be watching that Phillies game, and by about 7:30, 8 o'clock, I should be jumping back on here on It's a Wrap for those Fightings finals. So you will definitely have me tomorrow. Uh, but yeah, like I said, getting into this, I was looking at the Eagles score from yesterday, and what bothered me with this was what I saw yesterday as far as, I mean, here it is. Oh, okay. He did. Dak was 21 of 34, and he had 188 yards. Jalen was 19 of 23 for 152 yards. Javon Williams had 15 carries for 56 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts had 14 carries for 62 yards and 2 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb had 7 receptions for $110. Jahan Dotson for the Birds had 3 catches for 59 yards, but 51 of them came on one. If you look, Barkley had 18 carries for 60 yards. He was about 3.3 yards a carry. Dotson was almost 20 yards average. So the leader in tackles yesterday was Zach Bond. He had 6 tackles with 3 assists. Right behind him was Adoree Jackson. And then you had Cooper and Jordan Davis each with 3 tackles. So there you have it with those guys. Excuse me real quick, guys. Sorry about that. Oh. So, yeah, looking at it, Carter can't do that. I think he's just going to get fined. I don't think anything's going to happen with that. The key thing will be whether they look at Dak Prescott as an instigator on this, and will he have to pay a fine? But I know for a fact they're definitely going to, even though it wasn't called a penalty in the game, it was missed. But the fact that it was brought up, and a lot of people took the NFL to it, was the right or the left cross by Tyler Guyton right to the jaw. So we're going to have to go and take a look at that. Again, guys, tomorrow, Penn State against FIU. Game starts at 12. The game will be over by 2 o'clock when they hit halftime. I don't see Penn State having any problems with these guys tomorrow. I think they're just going to roll them out the water. And I'll tell you what, he just put it down. Chargers must have just scored again. They just scored again. Good thing I took them tonight. If you listen to me on there, they just scored. Yeah, they did. 26-18, about to be 27-18. Awesome. Al's letting me know here, Big Al saying Chargers scored. He said Dak won't get shit, and you know it. I don't know. I don't know about that because a lot of people were calling it to the head. You know, a lot of the national pundits were pretty much saying that they felt like Dak instigated that situation last night. Now, granted, Jalen, like I said earlier, he's got to be smarter than that. He's got to turn around and say, all right, you want to spit at me? That's fine. I'm going to make sure you eat grass all night. And I can't wait for the rematch in Dallas because this is going to get brought up. Dallas is, anytime the Eagles go there, they always try to show off for their fans. So I can't wait to see the rematch. I think both teams should be well ready. Hopefully there's no injuries to either starting quarterback. So Jalen can get his, right now I kept hearing about is how Dak was 9-4. Well, Dak's 9-5 now, and I think he's like 1-2 against Jalen Hurts. So think about that for a second. The last time both of these guys were all healthy, I think Dak's got to lose a record to Jalen. So we have to wait and see what goes on there. But yeah, getting back over to Penn State, you know, I really have been sitting back and like I said, the Penn State game tomorrow is pretty much. I think they're gonna roll FIU. Then get ready for Villanova. I think Villanova's probably going to give them their best test early on. Even though Nevada was they were stingy for about a quarter and a half, and then they Penn State said, "Okay, enough with this with you guys," and kind of backed them out. But there's a couple games I'm interested in more, and if you watch the show on Wednesday with me and Paul Spencer, I saw a line with Colorado giving the Delaware Blue Hens 23 points. For you guys who don't know, Delaware has now become Division One. They used to be Division 2, I believe, or Division 3. So now, Delaware's going to be playing the big boys. So they got a trip to Colorado. I would not be surprised. Now, they're 23-point underdogs, so I say take the points. But it wouldn't surprise me if they went out there and beat that Colorado team. And the reason why I say that is that Colorado team is all bark, no bite. They stink. And for the amount, it just goes to show, just because you were a great player doesn't mean you can become a great coach. And if you look at that Colorado staff out there, defensive line coach is Warren Sapp. Running back coach is Marshall Falk. Head coach is Deion Sanders. I think Delaware stays within that 23.5 points. I was joking with Paul earlier over on Out of the Box when I was doing the college football frenzy. And I told Paul, I said, they're going to beat them outright. I said, the fighting Blue Hens are going to go there and just kick the tar out of them. Now, of course, I'm saying this tongue-in-cheek. And I do. I seriously think that they can I think they can do that, man. All right. Ryan Swope checking in. What's up, Swope? Since you want to call me Lauro. Wow, the lady that Karen should be ashamed of herself. But the kid Lincoln got a better gift after all. It's his birthday, too. Yeah, I saw that, too. Lady taking a ball away from her kid down at the Marlins game tonight. And then I think he caught Bader's home run ball. And the chick took the ball away from him. Like, that's crazy. That's all right, though, because the kid ended up getting a signed bat. I did see that on Twitter. But we're going to get into the Phils right before. I'm not going to be on long tonight, guys. Probably half hour, 45 minutes. Just trying to run over some things that we were talking about. But anyway, getting back to tomorrow, one of the games that I've been looking at all week, and it's probably going to be the game of the week, is Michigan traveling to Oklahoma tomorrow. Game's in Oklahoma. And I'll tell you what, I think OU can win the game. I just don't think they can cover the game by 5. Right now, Michigan's a 5-point underdog in this game. I took Michigan with the 5 points. I think Michigan's defense is good enough to slow down that track meet of a offense that Oklahoma has. So for me, I'm gonna roll with the Wolverines tomorrow, getting the 5 points. I think Oklahoma can still win the game. I think they went in on a last-second field goal, honestly. But I think Michigan covers that game. Another game that I'm looking at, besides, of course, the Penn State game, the Battle of Iowa. Iowa and Iowa State. I took Iowa State, get minus the 3.5. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think Iowa State's the better football team in this. Iowa State should have won last year. A costly fumble towards the end of the game prevented them from winning it. But I think the game's it's in Iowa State this year. And I like the Cyclones. And my upset of the week, I'm taking Vandy. That's right, Vanderbilt. I'm taking Vanderbilt plus the 1 at Virginia Tech. I think they're going to go there. I think they're going to listen to Enter Sandman, and then they're going to proceed to beat the Hokies. I like this Vanderbilt team. I think they can make a little bit of noise in the ACC or SEC. During the SEC, Vandy. So, but they really did kind of revamp their team via the transfer portal, and it's been paying off after week one. So, yeah, sorry about that, man. Ooh, being up since 5 o'clock this morning, boy, really gets to you after a while. I hate when fans act most times. That's why being from Philly can be embarrassing. Yes, all cities do it a lot, but still, yeah. Philly's like the Philly's like Philly's the nation's like puppy that they like to kick. You know, everything that when it gets done here, it just gets magnified. But if you go anywhere, I've been to DC for games. I've been to New York for games. New York, I mean, difference between I always said this: the difference between an Eagles fan and a Giants fan is about the demographic and age. Eagle fan is 18 to 34; they act crazy. You know, Giants fans are like 40 to 60; they act nuts. So, you know, they act like they're so full of class when you go. You know, when you hear a New York Giants fan talk about how classy they are. I've been there 3 times for Eagles Giants games, and every time I've been there, it's been some dude that was way older than me that probably had about 6 pacemakers that's yelling at me because I'm there watching my team. So it's crazy. I just think it's a Northeast thing because Boston's rabid too. You ever been to Boston? Try going up there watching a Flyers game, wearing your Flyers jersey. Holy cow, dude. If you know if you've ever been to Boston, literally right across the street from Boston is like this retro Burger King. I mean, we were up there, I want to say early mid 2000s, like 2006 or 7 or somewhere up around there. And literally right across the street, there's this Burger King. It looked like it was stuck in a time warp. It looked like all the other Burger Kings from like the mid 80s. And I walked in there and some old looking guy, Bostonian, just kind of looked at me, kind of had the one eye kind of raised. He's like, Bobby Clark's a cheap shot artist. So, I mean, you go up to somebody, you go up there, man. Try going up there wearing that, man. Mickey Dolan said, what, Mike? I don't know what you mean by that, Mick. I just told a story about being up in Boston. So, okay. Oh, hi. uh, so anyway, yeah, there are my 3 picks going into this weekend's college football game. Again, Iowa State -3.5, Michigan getting to 5, and Vandy +1. So I took those 3. When me and Al do P&M in the AM on Sunday morning, I will have 3 picks for you guys. NFL also might throw in a little touchdown parlay in there, just to for S and giggles. So we're definitely going to be doing that. So, all right, guys, listen, it has been real. It has been fun. I'm not going to, I was going to do the Phillies, but I just remembered you guys just did probably 20, 30 minutes without on the Phillies. But the Phillies do get a big win tonight, 9-3 over those Marlins. And I'll tell you what, the Mets had a scare and a half. The Reds had the bases loaded, literally with, I think, De La Cruz and I forget the young kid's name, but literally the last guy up literally hit a bullet between the first baseman and second baseman. Second baseman grabbed it. Diaz was covering. That's how the Mets would end up winning that one tonight. So we're going to give you an updated. I think Al probably gave you updated standings, but Phillies and Mets, no change right now. Still at 6 games. Phillies are at 82 wins right now. Brewers are at 87. So good thing for them. Let's see here. Did they win tonight, the Brew Crew? As I'm looking. Yeah, they beat the Pirates. Okay. So, Well, guys, it has been real. I want to thank everybody for coming on. I will see you tomorrow. That's right after the final whistle of the Penn State game and FIU for Happy Valley Huddle. I will see you guys then, and I'll be back after dinner. After dinner, I will be back with the Fightins final. So make sure you guys join in, see me then. Again, enjoy the rest of your Friday night, guys. I'm Mike Laura. I'll see you tomorrow.